Apollo and Marpessa. Apollo never married. He was the most handsome of all the gods, and lived his life exactly as he pleased. He did promise to marry on one occasion, but even then it was doubtful whether he would have remained faithful, and fortunately the wedding never took place. The girl was Marpessa, daughter of the king of Italia. Her father, Evenus, treated her harshly, but he was a worthy and brave warrior. He had announced that he would give his daughter only to the man who could beat him in a chariot duel. Marpessa was so lovely and her fortune so immense that at first there were many who found the courage to meet Evenus single-handed, but each had been killed in his turn. Now there was no one left who dared to face him, until one day a handsome and daring youth appeared before Marpessa mounted on a winged horse, a Pegasus. He was the heroic Idas, son of the king of Messene, and he had never yet been defeated in a battle. Marpessa had heard many tales of Idas' feats, and she was appalled when she saw him. Better not to be married at all than be wedded to the man who would slay her father, for now it would not just be any young warrior that Evenus would have to face, but the renewed hero Idas, who could certainly defeat him. Idas saw the fear in Marpessa's eyes, and he said gently, "Listen, lovely princess. I have not come to kill your father, and I want neither his wealth nor his throne. Come, let us live secretly before day breaks." When Marpessa heard the noble young man's proposal, she was overwhelmed with joy, and immediately agreed to live with him. He placed her on the back of his splendid Pegasus, a gift from Poseidon, and they sped through the air towards Messene. As soon as King Evenus learned that his daughter had fled with Idas, he called upon Apollo for aid. The god, who loved Marpessa himself, willingly agreed to help, and quick as lightning, the two set off together in pursuit of the runaway lovers. But as they were crossing the river Lycormas, Evenus was swept away by its turbulent waters. Apollo plunged in and dragged him out, but it was too late. Evenus was dead. Apollo swore over the king's body that he would take Marpessa from Idas and make her his wife. He also promised the dead king that although his life had been lost, his name would remain immortal, for the river where he had been drowned would henceforth be called the Evenus. Having spoken these words, the god sped off once more in pursuit of Idas, and before the youth could reach the shelter of Messene, found himself face to face with Apollo. Idas guessed immediately what the god had come for, but instead of retreating, he quickly placed himself before Marpessa to shield her, whilst his grim expression showed that he was ready for whatever might come. The young man, who had avoided a duel with Venus, a mere mortal, did not now hesitate to pit his strength against the god. Within moments the two adversaries were locked in a struggle. It was a terrible fight. Although Idas was no god, he was stronger than a lion, and he fought against Apollo as an equal. It was not long before Zeus noticed the disturbance, and he decided to part them. However, The two were locked in such furious combat that it seemed impossible to do so, and it was only when the Lord of Olympus hurled a thunderbolt between them that it brought the fighting to a halt. When they had scrambled to their feet, Zeus ordered them to tell him what the quarrel was about. "Father Zeus," Apollo protested, "I want Marpessa for my wife, and this mortal shows great disrespect in daring to stand in my way." "Father of gods and men," replied Idas, "Marpessa is mine, and nothing will make me give her up." Zeus stood thoughtfully for a moment, and then, turning toward Marpessa, said to her, "Fair princess, you have every right to choose for yourself the husband whom you want, and I promise you that whatever you decide will be fulfilled." Marpessa humbly thanked great Zeus for his ruling, and then, turning to the god of light, she said, "Apollo, you are a god, and will enjoy eternal youth, but I shall grow old one day, and then you will abandon me. Lord Zeus, for years I have lived in unhappiness, knowing that I was destined to be married to my father's killer. Of all my suitors, only Idas has shown love, discretion, and indomitable courage. I love him, and I wish to become his wife." And so it came about. Apollo submitted to the will of Zeus, and filled with admiration for Marpessa's good sense and Ida's boldness, he wished them every happiness and departed for Delphi. Apollo never knew sadness, for he did not have his lyre, which banished all troubles and brought him calm and joy. He would often play upon it in a great symposia of the gods on Olympus. When he touched his fingers to the magic strings of the golden instrument, the 9 muses would run joyfully to his side and take up the song, and the whole place would echo with sweet immortal melodies. And when they were in mood for dancing, the Muses and the Graces would spring up at once, and with them the lovely Aphrodite. But first in the line would be Apollo's sisters, graceful Artemis, and as spirits rose on Olympus, so unhappiness faded from the earth.